Okay, well, good afternoon, everybody. Jeremy and JP out on Nonsuch Island again. Doing really a final wrap up of the 2021 Cahow nesting season here on Nonsuch Island. And it's an appropriate time because last night, on the night of the 16th to the 17th of June, we had the very last Cahow chick that was on Nonsuch Island. Chick that had hatched late, and it never really developed a really heavy weight, so that tends to slow up their development. Has been exercising for the last 5 or 6 nights, where it's flapping its wings to strengthen the flight muscles, and it will then spread its wings out and literally do what we call like push-ups. And this is all a thing of helping to lock tendons and muscles into place that help it to hold its wings outstretched when it's gliding, because Cahows and gadfly petrels like the Cahow rarely flap very long. That wastes energy. What they do is they spend most of their time gliding from place to place in the ocean, using the winds, riding the winds like a surfer, more or less. And so locking those wings into that outstretched thing is something that this process of stretching the wings out and pressing them against the ground does. And if you watch, the tail will be pressing down too. So it looks for all the world like it's doing push-ups, more or less. But it's all a part of the process of locking the tendons into place that run from wing to wing across the back that help to keep the wings open during gliding flight. Last night, it sort of came out of the entrance here. This is where the nest chamber is. The entrance is down here, came out, exercised, and then waddled out of sight down towards the cliff edge. And in fact, you can sort of see where it was, and there's excreta here, fresh excreta, and that's actually a very good sign to me. They only produce excreta if they've been fed by the adults, and so that's a good sign that the adults were carrying out extra feeding visits right up almost to fledging, which is great. That to me indicates that it had a much better chance of fledging successfully. Almost every year, there's chicks that we worry about. They're a little underweight and such. If they go below a certain critical value, then I have to take them into care. But luckily, this year there were none that fit into that category, although this one came very close. But basically, this brings to a total of 13 chicks that fledged from Nonsuch Island, from the 2 colony sites this year. And that equals our past record, which was, I think, in 2019, we had 13 chicks fledge. The really exciting thing that's happened this season, though, in addition to that, is that the number of new pairs that established on Nonsuch this year broke all records. We're up to 142 pairs total. Nonsuch has about 31 pairs on it now, and that makes it the second biggest of the 6 islands that the Cahow nests on now. Only Horn Rock has a bigger population than that, but we surpassed Green Island, which is right in view from here in a very rough ocean. The winds are picking up ahead of a cold front that's coming in towards the island now. So he certainly wouldn't be able to land on it then, but all the chicks have fled from that rock. But yeah, we had 31 pairs and Nonsuch, and the real exciting thing is that 9 new pairs set up shop. We're an adult male that usually from a chick that fledged on Nonsuch came in, took possession of a nest, and successfully attracted a mate to there. So I was finding pairs together. Now, they will never produce an egg in their first year. That first year is purely for finding a mate, sealing the pair bond, going through courtship. They'll often build a nest together as practice, I guess, playing house. And then the second year that they're together, that's the first year they'll produce a chick. Or they'll produce an egg, I should say. They don't always produce a chick. Quite often that first year, the egg is slightly undersized, or they just don't have it down yet. They're not experienced enough to incubate it successfully for the 2 months almost that it takes. But I have hopes that if even half of those new birds produce eggs and produce chicks, then we're just going to blow this year's record right out of the water. We just have to hope for the best, but everything is looking extremely positive. And so the number of new pairs is going to increase from 31 pairs on Nonsuch up to nearly 40 pairs. It's incredible how quickly this population is increasing now. And this is for one of the world's rarest seabirds, and that represents a huge proportion, almost a third of all breeding pairs of Cahows on existence on the planet. They're only in these few islands here, within about a 1 kilometer area. So things are looking good. We're going to be trying to build extra nests now. We've done some clearing of the bay grape thickets around here so that we can install at least a half a dozen new nests. My biggest problem now is keeping up with the accelerating growth in the population. I simply can't build these nests enough, and they are two pairs did go into natural nests. They dug out crab burrows under the roots of these trees, and that's all very good, and that's what we want, but those natural burrows often don't last more than a few years. A heavy rainfall can just collapse them. They're in sandy soil under the roots, and heavy rain or a hurricane or something like that can just collapse those nests, and then it takes them 2 or 3 years to build another new one. So when you build these concrete artificial ones, or even the plastic ones, the concrete ones we know will last for 50, 60 years, perhaps as long as a century, as long as we build them strong. And the plastic ones should last for several decades at least. So they are a much better investment, because the most successful pairs are the pairs that meet back at the same nest every year, and that as long as that nest survives, the pair will survive. If the nest is destroyed, the pair will break up and find new partners and new nests, and that wastes several years of their life where they could be producing chicks. So, it's all part of the management of this species. But we're excited to have been able to bring this all to you, and we're very excited about what the future holds. Hopefully, you see the masks are gone now. Bermuda is starting to open back up. We had a big second wave, but things are looking very positive around. It's by no means over yet, and I expect we're going to have further challenges to face. But hopefully, it doesn't seem to have impacted the Cahow or the other wildlife here. There's even some indications it may have helped them because of reduced fishing pressure. So we'll just see. It's all part of the long, slow rehabilitation and recovery of this species. It's not a quick fix, folks. We have affected the global ecosystem so severely now that it's going to take a long concerted effort of generations to even partially redress the balance again and help some of these species to survive. And the sad truth is, without human intervention now, most of these species will not survive. Even if that intervention is just the banning of single-use plastics to reduce the enormous load of plastic that's in the world's oceans now. We've got to actively manage to save these species, otherwise they will go extinct. So we hope to be a part of that. We hope you'll be part of that too. Everything that everybody does, the decisions you make, what you buy, and everything, that all has a bearing. So I hope you've all enjoyed this season. We've tried our best through the pandemic to bring updates to you, to let you know what's happening. This chick, this was the last one to fledge last night. JP will be posting videos of it exercising outside. It fledged to sea very downy, with more down than normal, but I've seen them go to sea with even more down than that. Once they hit the water, that down just sloughs right off. It comes off, and as long as the feathers are fully formed under that, the chick's good to go. So I'm happy that we've produced 71 successfully fledged chicks this year, and that's the second highest number ever. Hopefully we'll exceed that next year. So we just thank you for bearing with us, and we hope that this has been educational and informational and enlightening to you as well, and that this has helped to really improve your day. All right, all the best, and everybody have a great time, and we are going to go to the tropic birds nests next and see how they're doing. So all the best from Jeremy and JP on Nonsuch Island, Bermuda. And everybody have a great summer.